Your dog is wagging their tail right now. And you think you know exactly what that means. You don't. Not because you're not paying attention, because you've been looking at the wrong thing your entire life. The wag itself tells you almost nothing. What tells you everything is something most owners have never once thought to check. And once you learn it, you will never misread your dog again. Welcome to Cute Pet Family. Subscribe right now, because what you're about to learn is one of the most important things you will ever understand about the animal you share your life with. Let's start with the thing everyone gets wrong. You see a wagging tail, and your brain completes the sentence automatically. Happy dog, safe dog, everything is fine. This assumption is so deeply built into how we think about dogs that most owners act on it without even noticing they're making a judgment call. But here is what the science actually says. A wagging tail is not a signal of happiness. It is a signal of emotional arousal, of activation, of a nervous system that has been engaged by something in the environment. What that something is, whether it is exciting or threatening, joyful or anxious, the wag itself does not tell you. The wag is the volume dial. It tells you how loud the emotion is. It tells you almost nothing about which emotion it is. And that distinction has consequences, real ones, because owners who misread a wag as happiness miss the signals their dog is sending. In the moments that matter most, here is where it gets precise. And this is the part that changes everything. In 2007, neurobiologists Giorgio Valortigara and Angelo Quaranta at the University of Trieste published a study that sent a quiet earthquake through the field of animal cognition. They filmed dogs wagging their tails in response to different stimuli. Their owner, a stranger, a dominant, unfamiliar dog, a cat. And then they did something no one had done carefully before. They measured not just whether the tail was wagging, but which direction it was biased. What they found was this. When a dog sees something it associates with positive approach, its owner, a friendly human, a familiar face, the tail wag skews to the right. When a dog sees something that triggers withdrawal, anxiety, or uncertainty, a dominant stranger, an unfamiliar dog, a threatening stimulus, the tail wag skews to the left. Right bias, left bias, two completely different emotional states. One movement. The researchers published a follow-up in 2013 confirming something even more remarkable. Other dogs can read this. When a dog sees another dog wagging with a right bias, their own nervous system relaxes. When they see a left-biased wag, their heart rate increases, and their body language shifts to alert. Dogs are reading each other's tails at a level of precision that we, their owners, have been completely unaware of. Here is why this happens, and the neuroscience behind it is worth understanding. The brain controls movement asymmetrically. The left hemisphere governs approach behavior, motivation, positive engagement, the drive towards something. The right hemisphere governs withdrawal behavior, threat assessment, fear, the pull away from something. This is not unique to dogs. This left-right division of emotional processing is documented across species, including humans. It is one of the oldest features of the vertebrate brain because the left hemisphere controls the right side of the body, and the right hemisphere controls the left. A dog in a positive emotional state, one that is activating the approach system, produces movement that is slightly right dominant. A dog in a withdrawal state produces movement that is slightly left dominant. The tail, as the most mobile and expressive extension of the spine, reflects this asymmetry clearly enough to be measured. Clearly enough, it turns out, to be read by other dogs, and now by you. So what does this look like in practice? Because the difference is not always dramatic. You are not looking for a tail that swings exclusively to one side. You are looking for a bias, a lean, a tendency in one direction over the other. Watch the base of the tail, not the tip. The tip amplifies everything and can be misleading. The base is where the directional information lives. A right-biased wag, the one associated with positive engagement, often accompanies a loose, full-body movement. The dog's weight shifts slightly, the hips may move. The energy feels open and forward. This is the wag of a dog that wants to close the distance between itself and whatever it is looking at. A left-biased wag is often stiffer. The body stays more rigid. The tail movement is present, but it does not travel through the whole body, the way a genuinely relaxed wag does. The dog may be looking at you, tail moving, and you would call it happy, but their feet are not moving toward you. Their weight may actually be back, their eyes may be slightly harder. The wag is there, the warmth is not. There is a second dimension to tail language that is completely separate from direction, and it operates simultaneously. You need both pieces to read what your dog is actually telling you. The height of the tail. A tail carried high above the line of the spine signals confidence and arousal. In some contexts, high arousal is positive excitement. In other contexts, a tail carried very high and stiff is a dominant signal, a declaration of social standing that can precede conflict. The height alone does not tell you which. The direction and the body language together do. A tail carried low below the spine signals submission or anxiety. A tail tucked completely under the body is fear. This is widely known. What is less known is the middle ground. A tail carried at or just below spine level, wagging in a slow, wide arc. That is one of the most reliable signals of genuine relaxed contentment. In the canine behavioral vocabulary, it is the wag of a dog that is not performing for you. It is the wag of a dog that simply feels safe. Speed matters too, and this one is counterintuitive. Most people assume a faster wag means a happier dog. Sometimes that is true, but speed is a measure of arousal intensity, not emotional valence. A very fast, tight wag, one where the tail vibrates more than it swings, can indicate a dog that is at the edge of its emotional regulation capacity. You see this in dogs that are overstimulated, dogs that are about to break into a frenzy of behavior, and sometimes in dogs that are in conflict between approach and aggression. Research from the University of Lincoln found that tail wag speed and amplitude carry information about how intensely a dog is feeling something. But the what, the quality of that feeling comes back to direction and body context every time. The wag that travels slowly and widely, moving from a relaxed base, right biased, low to mid-spine, loose body. That is a dog in a state that veterinary behaviorists describe as positive valence, low arousal. That is the wag you want to learn to recognize. Because when you see it, you know something that no amount of training can manufacture. You know your dog feels genuinely quietly, completely at ease with you in this moment. Here is what to do with all of this. Start observing without interacting. The next time your dog approaches you or reacts to something in the environment, resist the immediate impulse to respond to the wag. Just watch. Give yourself 5 seconds to check 3 things before you act. The direction of the bias at the base of the tail, the height relative to the spine, and whether the body is moving toward or away from the stimulus. You are not looking for certainty. You are building a vocabulary. Every dog has individual baseline patterns, and the most important comparison is not your dog against a textbook. It is your dog against themselves. A tail that normally sits mid-spine and suddenly goes rigid and high is telling you something specific about this moment relative to every other moment. That shift is the signal. Do this for 2 weeks. Watch without reacting for those 5 seconds. You will start to see things you have been walking past for years. And here is the deeper truth underneath all of this. Your dog has been communicating with you at a level of precision that most owners never access. Not because the signals aren't there, because no one told you what to look for. The tail is not a simple happiness indicator. It is a live broadcast of your dog's emotional state, directional, dimensional, specific. Running every moment your dog is awake and responding to the world. You just didn't have the decoder. A 2015 study from the University of Bari confirmed that dogs respond to left, biased wags. In other dogs with measurable increases in anxiety, even in dogs they know well. The communication system is real, it is active. It has been operating between dogs for tens of thousands of years. And it has been operating between your dog and every other dog they have ever met. Now it can finally operate between your dog and you. The tail has been talking this whole time. You just learned how to listen. If this changed the way you see your dog, share it with one person whose dog wags their tail every single day and has no idea what it is actually saying. Subscribe to Cute Pet Family. We're here every week translating the signals your dog has been sending since the day they came home. And drop a comment, does your dog wag right or left when they see you? Start paying attention tonight. We read every single one.